Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm here with the Wolf, and this is just a general share advice and not personal advice, as always. Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
I just want to tell everyone I've just annoyed Wolf for about half an hour going through all these stocks. Going, what about this one, Wolf?
Yes.
What about? And he's going, Dave, I don't care. It's too. We're not putting out anything this week. This is a week of watching and looking and consolidation, and to be honest with you, there wasn't much, but I will be a bit naughty and tell you, and again, Sandfire was about maybe one of the better charts we could find, but it's dependent on copper. That's the problem. And you're looking at that chart and you're thinking, really? Yeah, I mean, you're just playing the copper price, aren't you?
And look, I suppose you are just pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's no conviction.
And then, the only other one I could find was PME. And then I'm thinking, all these stocks on record Ps are getting sold off. And really, would you buy this? I mean, how high? I mean, is the risk reward there? I mean, yeah, maybe it might go and retest 70, but I think there's better trades to find. And then the last one was that little PRN, which is more of a risky Parente, and that looks like, if it looked like that by the end of the week, remember these are weekly charts, they need to look like this by the end of the week, they look all right. But generally, Wolf, oh my god, it's like
nothing to be excited about, is it?
It's like being on a desert island and we can't find anything to eat, and we're fighting over that little
coconut
we found. Yeah, well, anyway,
yeah, it's difficult. Definitely, this week is not great for just nice charts, is it? I
just feel like that. I feel like we're like sort of on some desert island trying to find something where we can make some money. However, there are some people in some pretty weak stories that have made some money today. So let's have a look at those. Let's have a look at UMG, United Malt.
Yes. All right. So takeover offer by a French group, biggest in Europe, in maltster. It's a maltster. That's how they call it. So it does malt stuff from barley, I think, and other commodities. But it's obviously opportunistic, Dave. They are securing malt from really safe jurisdictions like Australia. So this is the second biggest conglomerate in the world that's looking for companies like UMG here. And what an opportunistic way of doing it, because it's like when you look at it, $5 that they gave, and $5 is not that far away from 2021 prices.
All right, I don't want to sound really stupid, but I'm going to. What is malt used for? What is malt?
Beer, Dave. Malt is the biggest, I think, used in beer, I believe. Let me just double check that. What other things they do? So malt used in, but beer I know is the biggest point. So it's barley that's been actually used, right? From, but you can have whiskey as well.
But isn't this like a national treasure? It's a
good question. Look, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so.
Mate, our beer.
Yeah, it is. But
come on.
Yeah, okay, look, it's a good question. I don't know how the FIRB will look upon this as a, can we give away our barley malt business?
I mean, is VB in danger? I mean, this is what I need to know, Wolf. Otherwise, I might just go and buy as many cases as I can before. No, but yeah, listen, it's a funny one, isn't it? But
hey, it is a funny one. It's a very good question. I don't know whether that could be a problem. But anyway, look, what's happening right now is the board of UMG have gone back and said, okay, well, we'll open up our books. Let's see how these French group will do. And I can't remember the name, so apologies for that. And we'll come back. So it's not set in stone. That's why there's a little bit of a discount, like a 10% discount at the moment. So we're going to have to wait to see. Look, is there going to be a bidding more for it? Maybe. There's a bigger group out there in the world that might go for it. So we'll see. So if I was in this stock, it's an interesting question. If I was in, what I would be doing if I was in this, because I'm thinking, take a profit maybe. Yeah, that sounds good, decent, but also, is this opportunistic? Possibly. So I don't know, Dave. I mean, look, it's a quandary for me. What I'd do here if I held some.
Oh, I've got one question for you. Why, if this is so good, has the market never given it any value?
Look, I think it's because obviously it's boring. Maybe its past performance has been fairly up and down. So investors are just, usually with every stocks like these things, it's just like trending only, right? And it hasn't been trending a lot. So I think it goes to the side, and it's now found some interest because obviously there's a group that knows this business very, very well. So they're making a big.
All right, it is a profitable company, but yeah, it's expensive, isn't it?
So if you look at it, I mean, the group, he's probably waited for 12 months, looks like, right? So they've gone down to $3. They've been waiting and waiting to make that bid look better than it is.
All right, let's have talk about another stock that's had a big takeover offer. LTR.
Yes.
Now, tell us about this one. Is this one going to go through?
It's been rejected by LTR board. So this is interesting because this is a lithium space that, for me, it's going backwards for the moment. But this is one of the best ones in Australia, right? It's got a nice big resource, nice grades, probably in a top 5% in Australia of deposits and possibly mines if they can get it developed. So I can see the attraction from a big player like Albemarle, and this is what's happening right now, right? Opportunity possibly. For me, I think when you look at the market overall, maybe it's a good deal. I'd probably, if I was a shareholder, I'd want them to look at it, not reject it, right? At least deal with them and talk to them and say, come on, guys, let's see what else can you give us a bigger price? Can you give us $3 maybe, right? So I'd engage with them, not dismiss them like they have. So I'm a little bit, if I was a shareholder, probably thinking, not sure, especially when you see what's happening. But you know what? The other thing is, has that driven up some of the other prices in a space thinking, what about me? Can we get taken over? Because that's what usually happens if you get one takeover in one space, that other things, they can do the same. So let's look at CXO, Dave. Let's look at some of these.
Oh, you can see INR up 10%.
There you go.
Today,
There's a little bit of movement, right? Let's look at CXO.
Well,
wow, there you go, Dave. There's your movement on the back of LTR. What about IGO? Come on, let's have a look at some of the other stocks. Yeah, there you go, 5%. It's amazing, isn't it? One company gets taken out, and you can't compare them. So good luck with everyone else. I don't think that anyone else will get taken over. This is probably the only guys that I can think of that would have a chance, and there you go.
All right. So really, it's if you're in that, you'd be maybe taking a profit, Wolf, in LTR.
Yeah, I think so. I probably would be. Especially when the company is rejected, right? So I'd take a profit in there. Too risky, especially with lithium prices going backwards.
Right. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Next, SRG.
Yep. So a little contract there. Well, not say little, 55, I think, million bucks with FMG. This is not a bad story. It's been coming up with some good results. Good trending story, Dave. You'd probably be looking to maybe, if you bought this on the bounce, probably holding on and maybe even a little trade towards that 80 cents again by the end of the week.
Yeah, have a look. Like you said, in this market, let's wait to the end of the week. But it doesn't look too bad, that SRG, does it?
Yep, nice turnaround.
ALK, Wolfie, some more drilling results. What's going on there?
Yeah, Boda, so a few holes in Boda. There was one decent one. The rest of them were a bit weakish for me. So there's a lot of gold, copper in there. Really nice stick intercepts, but not everything is great in there. So it's going to take a long time, probably another year or so before we actually get our head around if there is going to be a mine out of this, to be honest.
Right. MFD, you wanted to talk about MFD.
Yeah, quickly.
So they're in a trading halt. What's going on?
Yeah, I'd like to know what's going on, Dave, because they've gone into trading halt and said that there's a forensic investigation going on by Cord Mentha. It's just like, oh my God, if I was a shareholder, what does that mean? It doesn't sound good. So be careful. I know, probably, unfortunately, good luck, and more be careful because it's probably too late now. If it's something really bad, this could really collapse.
Right. So just explain to me a little bit why there would be a forensic investigation.
Probably some dodgy stuff going on in the background. That's
what in the childcare space.
Well, probably more on the books side of things.
Okay.
Right. Paul Mentha is an auditor, right? So I'd say something about something.
I mean, I'm not being funny. You got to laugh a bit. It's the last of industry, childcare and babies, that you think there'd be something funny going on. Yeah,
but it's less about the babies and stuff, more about, maybe someone's doing something not right with the books.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It just seems a weird industry for that to go on it. All right, so
just good luck to you with that one, I have to say. LKE, let's quickly talk about that one, because this has been an absolute going down like a stone, and it hasn't helped when 2 or 3 days ago the chairman has dumped half his shares.
What?
and so, he needs it to pay for something. Yeah, okay. Like a fire sale.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure it's up 10% today. He'll be dumping more, will he?
Yeah, possibly. But why didn't he sell like 6 months ago? What is it, like 20?
All right.
Now he's a little bit sus.
It is a bit.
So you wouldn't be touching this, would you?
Yeah, and Wolf, they talk about the rise and fall of some famous stocks. MP1.
Sad, isn't it? Sad to see a darling has come down for $22. And look, I used to like this company, and I still do. The problem is this market is very, very harsh, and these guys is not quick enough to move, right, to get to that profitability, which is conspired against them to really smash them down, and it's now really unloved. And we're probably where it should be now, $4. It could go even lower, right? It could go down to, actually, there's a big, strong support at $4. So maybe that's, we didn't see that in 2019. That's actually.
Well, if you look at, that's what I'm saying. If you look where it hovered around 2000, it could go maybe $3, but I don't know. Would that be your nibble for your long term?
I'd say so. And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, maybe there is a nibble here. And you know what, Dave? 2019, 2018, actually, when it was around this buck, 4 years ago, this company was so different. 5 years ago, even, this company was so different. Much smaller revenues,
But Wolf, they have raised a lot of capital over that
That's
time.
true. That is true. But it's a different business. You've got the revenues that grew probably by 100% since then, right? So it's a very different proposition right now. And I think there is probably some merit. You could say, I'll be maybe living on this. If I've got a view that eventually the market will start liking these stocks again, and these guys are going to hit their profitability when they say they're going to hit their profitability.
Right. They had a CEO and a management update recently. Did you have time to have a look at that?
Yeah, I had a look at it today. There, so the CEO. So we got the interim CEO that was Bevan Slattery, right? Who obviously came up with this idea anyway in the first place. So that was a good interim thing. But they've announced today they've got a new CEO, ex-Cisco. So good name, right? Cisco in this space. But the market's probably doesn't matter who's in charge. We want to see profitability, or at least cash flow positivity here. So once they get closer to that, maybe you'll see the turnaround. But I'll put this on the watch list because I think it's been sold down enough. It's not a bad company. It's not as if it's an Appen where it's got a bad business model. It doesn't. It's still pretty good. It's still growing, but it was just too expensive for what it was. So maybe at $4, it's starting to look a bit more palatable as an investment.
Very, very, very good. All right. Wolf, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much. What's interesting, isn't it, though, Wolfie, is that the world has got issues at the moment, but Australian companies are in vogue. Yeah,
I know. And the thing is, let's talk about a couple, PMV and ALD, because I saw them on F1 Arena. So I just want to talk about them. You've got them right there in front of you, Dave.
Yeah.
Just above that. Yep, that's it. And they come up with 2 announcements there. So PMV came up with not a bad, we talked about this, not a bad one. And I said to you, if you're holding this for the 5% dividend, nothing wrong with holding it, right? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Probably better dividend stocks out there, much more giving you a better yield out of it. But you can make a case for it. So I think that still probably stands. And I saw a couple of broker calls saying that they've got price targets, and I'll give you that quickly. Whoops. Come on.
Yes, Wolf, you're sounding keener on this than you were yesterday.
I'm not keen. Not keen.
Yeah, but you were a definite no yesterday.
No, I said it's a hold if you're like the 5%, right? That's it. That's what I said yesterday. Sticking to the same thing what I said yesterday. I would not be chasing this for 5%.
I thought you said you wouldn't own a retail stock for 5%.
No, that's what exactly. I wouldn't. But there's some people that might be in this and say they're happy with the 5%, right?
It's all right. I'm only teasing. Go on. What was
You just have to remember what I said yesterday. And that's what I'm sticking with yesterday.
Come on, Biden. What's
outperform from Macquarie and Shaw and Partners is buy, right? So we've got Shaw and Partners at 28 and Macquarie at 29 price target.
Okay, all right, up around here. Yep.
So the other one was ALD, and again yesterday we said, yeah, don't panic. Dividend stock, very good dividend stock, one-off thing. And again, I think pretty much summarizes what I said yesterday by two brokers. We've got, here we go. We've got Macquarie outperform, price target of $39, Dave.
Wow, that's
right.
Not bad.
Yeah, okay. And UBS 37. There you go.
It's funny, isn't it? It's not. How does this compare to Viva Energy, VEA?
Yeah, look, a little bit different, but in a reasonable, similar space. Refining, petrol stations.
What target
right?
what target prices have you got on VEA?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at VEA. I have to
because you've got VEA, if this is right, Wolf, giving a 13% div.
Possibly. I'll have to have a look at it in a second. Just let me have a look at FN Arena and what they say about VEA. And we'll go to that actual dividend in a sec. All right, so we've got VEA price targets. Okay, we've got Morgan Stanley at $2.99.
Yeah.
We've got Ordminet at $3.35. We've got Macquarie at $3.60 and UBS at $3.50, right? So we've got around the $3.50, I'd say it would be probably average, somewhere around there. And its PE is around 10. So it's pretty cheap, and you've got a dividend yield of about 7, so grossed up about 10%.
Right. So you've got interesting stories in this VEA, haven't you? And ALD. I mean, VEA gives slightly better dividend, but ALD is not bad at all.
No, absolutely. I mean, like I said to you, Dave, yesterday, or when we were talking about these stocks, when I was making a case as dividend stocks. And I think you suggested it to your bro.
No, I did. I put him in
exactly. This is a decent dividend stories.
I'll tell you the other one. My bro's happy with me. I put him in that. What's it?
Dalrymple, DPI.
DBI.
DBI.
Is it DBI?
Yeah, DBI.
Yeah, he's very happy. Look, because he brought it down here when it's giving like I think a 12%, and now look at it. Well, what's all that about? I mean, I think there was a good article in Livewire about it, Wolf.
Yeah, I'd have to have a read about it.
Yeah, so they pushed it up.
Anyway, great looking chart, good dividends. Again, if you're in this, you're probably holding.
No, definitely. But there's, what? Our market's not easy, Wolf. No. But I'll tell you what, dividend stocks, we are spoilt with some very good.
Yeah, you can park your money and be fairly confident, right, that you can possibly eke some nice gains out of them.
But still be able to eat. Are you saying that?
Absolutely. Better than probably a bank. Who I actually saw something on the news this morning, right? So this is how cheeky the banks are. Right? So first of all, they raise their rates as quick as the RBA raises the cash rates. But when it goes to you putting your money in the bank like cash and trying to get some good return out of them, they've got all sorts of different hurdles you have to overcome. You have to be between 18 and 18 and a half years of age. You've got to have, this sort of ridiculous things to make 5% cash. Oh my God. It's go away, banks.
What about for the elderly? Are they not doing anything for the elderly?
No, this is the thing. You have to go, you got to put your cash in a term deposit. But people want to have cash flows. They don't want to put cash in there and sit there for bloody a year without touching it. Ridiculous. Yet they're quick to just take from the interest rates going up. Very, very cheeky, I tell you what. So I think you should be hunting along going stuff. I'm going to find myself a good dividend story, or maybe putting that hybrid somewhere.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, I'd like to thank you very much. Always absolutely brilliant. Lots of interesting chit chat. It's all about some good dividend stocks at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, we're sticking to the theme, isn't it? We're sticking with looking for, I suppose, defensive value dividends.
All right. Thanks, Wolfie. Take care. See you, mate.